Welcome to Diggin with Deej for my Tuesday night live stream. Tonight's topic will be on the ironclad ships of the Civil War. Please grab your beverage of choice and sit back and enjoy the show that will begin in approximately 1 minute. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Diggin with Deej.
Hi, guys. Hi, Deej. How are you tonight?
Good. Much better tonight. So
Awesome.
Happy to see so many in the chat. Wow. Goodness gracious.
Awesome. It does look like it's going by pretty quick.
Wow. I have had a very stressful week here, and it's only Tuesday, folks. So this makes me really happy to see all of you here. In that, let me scroll back and see who's in the house. We'll start at the top. Okay, oops, there. Tom Kingery was the first one in the house. Welcome, Tom. Welcome back. Cynthia Swearingen, one of my moderators and also a member. Welcome back, Cynthia. Flash in your pan. Another moderator as well as a member. Mark the Berg Hunter. Also a member. Welcome back, Mark.
Bill Paparoos, how are you, buddy?
Welcome, Bill.
Looks like Mayor Videos is in your house, Deej.
Yep. Marlon, he's also a moderator. And he had a fabulous live stream last Sunday.
Barnsley Treasure Hunter, welcome out.
Let's see, still scrolling. Welcome, Barnsley. Let's see, Starry's Lost and Found, another member. Welcome, Starry. Welcome, Steve. Let's see, still scrolling. Marty is nuts about digging. Welcome back, Marty.
Marty, welcome. Welcome.
And then Jeremy's in the chat, too.
Hey, everybody.
JP Lawns and more, who I have met. I met last year for the first time at Flash Bash.
Chris Corson in the house. He's from Alabama. Welcome out, Chris.
Welcome, Chris.
He's in Dothan.
Yep, longtime subscriber. Welcome back, Jimmy. Still scrolling. Christy Bean. I think she was in my chat last week. Welcome back, Christy. Either that or she's commented on one of my videos. The name looks familiar. Let's see. Still scrolling. Let's see. FK Burnham, welcome back.
The other side of the boat in your house tonight, Deej.
Welcome back. The other side of the boat. Mark Thomas, another moderator and member. Welcome, Mark. Mark Miller's in my house. A prospector and musician.
Michigan Gems.
Cool. Hi, Joe. Welcome back, Michigan Gems. A magnet fisher and metal detectorist. We're gonna do a collaboration this year.
Mississippi Mary in your house tonight, Deej.
Trying to find her. I'm still scrolling. Hi, Mary. Welcome back. Oops. Hopefully I'm not talking too loud. I have a tendency to do that.
Sounds good on my end.
Okay. Still scrolling. American Woodland Relics. Paul, another moderator in the house.
Yes.
Welcome back, Paul. Paul and Belinda, hi. Team Clambake, Bean and Pick in my house. Welcome back.
Clambake in the house. Welcome, guys. Sandy Johnson in the house.
Welcome, Sandy. I think she's been here before, too. Brewers Prospecting. Welcome back.
Welcome, guys.
Still scrolling. Let's see. Now, if we miss anybody, please don't be offended. It's not intentional, okay?
The Bud Files in the house.
Welcome back, Bud Files.
Dan Smoking Treasures, Deej, in your house tonight.
Hi, Dan. Welcome back. Metal Detecting North Carolina, Mike. Welcome back, Mike. Banshee Mining, another member. Welcome, Julie.
Dawn Williams, how are you tonight?
Dawn of Dawn and Shelley, Can You Dig It?
Can
on
you
Thursday
dig
night.
it?
Welcome back, Dawn.
Underground Buddha.
Hi, Bobby. Heavy Metal Detective, Colin. Welcome back, Colin. Welcome back, Bobby. Let's see. Still scrolling. I don't know if we caught up or not. The Dark Knight Detectorist. Jason, welcome from across the pond. And Jason has asked me later on this month to be a guest on his show.
Oh, cool.
So I will be putting something in my community page about that coming up.
Awesome.
Let's see. Still scrolling. Yeah, the chat is... We have 34 in our house. Oh, my gosh, you guys.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Still scrolling.
Sean 47 in the house tonight, Deej.
Welcome, Sean. Thank you for coming.
The Giant Garrett Detectorist just popped in.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen or heard from you in ages, dude. Oh my gosh, there's another one from across the pond. Wow. Welcome back. I hope you and your wife are doing good. Let's see, still scrolling. Let's see.
Mandy Brown just popped in.
Mandy, you said?
Mm-hmm. Mandy Brown.
Welcome, Mandy Brown. You must be way ahead of me scrolling. There's Mary Witt. Welcome, Mary.
I see Shelly. Shelly just popped in. Shelly Williams.
Shelly. Okay. Dawn and Shelly are both here now from Can You Dig It? Welcome back, Shelly.
Can You Dig It?
Yep. Let's see. Still looking. Wow.
I'm thinking we're getting close
Javier Garcia. Welcome back,
Javier. I missed that. How are you, Javier?
Let's see. Still scrolling.
Tom Kingery just popped in.
Oh, I just saw the Giant Garrett Detectorist.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're pretty behind.
You said Tom Kingery? He was the first one in the chat. Sean 47.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Hi, Sean 47. I know there's so many. It's flying that it's hard to keep up.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Would you get to go digging this week, Deej?
No, we've been busy trying to get a 6-foot fence put up. So in between that and the rain, and we got storms. I thought it was storms tonight. We have storms coming tomorrow. Bad storms coming tomorrow.
Yeah, we do too. I'm kind of dreading that one tomorrow night. So.
And my contractor. Oh my goodness, Mark DeBerg, Hunter. Goodness gracious. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much.
I like that just for the heck of it.
What?
What do you put on
just
there?
For the heck of it. Yeah.
I like it.
We've had a couple glitches with the fence. I mean, almost the whole yard is done, but I have a fence that I share with a neighbor. And I can't seem to get them to agree to anything that I offer them to, because I want to put an extension up. And we offered to put in a chain link extension, and which is what she requested, and now she wants to think about it. And Jackson's gone above and beyond. Jackson's paying for this fence. I don't have the money to pay for this fence.
Right.
And he was not happy today. I have never seen him so upset in my life. It was pretty bad. It was pretty stressful yesterday and today. And he said, heck with it. I don't care if it costs more money. We're building our own fence right next to theirs. It's legal. We're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been a trying week, and I feel bad. You know, he cares enough to try to save Pam's dog because nobody else will take chance.
Right.
And if we didn't save him, he'd go to the pound.
Right.
And he's spending thousands of dollars on this fence. Oh my gosh, who?
Cynthia said she couldn't let Mark upstage her.
Who was the other Cynthia can't let Mark upstage me. Yeah. Cynthia. Thank you. I'm still scrolling, looking. Mud Swat, welcome back. So that's what's been going on. I still have prizes, guys, that I need to mail out from the last time we gave stuff away. I'm waiting for these hard cardboard envelopes to get here that I ordered 2 weeks ago and haven't showed up. And that, plus with everything else going on. Frederick Romano, thank you so much.
Practical Ken in the house.
Hi, Ken. That's somebody else I want to collab with sometime this year. Practical Ken. Let's see. Still scrolling. Not seeing anybody else yet. I just got to Cynthia's super chat.
Oh, did you?
I'm a slowpoke, folks, I guess. So, but what they've gotten done so far with the fences looks very nice.
Good.
I mean, we couldn't afford to do. They wanted almost $10,000 to do a 6-foot chain link fence. We couldn't. Wow. Jackson couldn't afford that. Yeah, so we went with something a little different, but I mean, it's still nice.
Right.
Am I caught up yet? Goodness gracious. There's 35 in the house. My goodness. Tin Man Magnet Fishing. Welcome.
Welcome.
Let's see. Still looking because I'm trying not to. Ooh, I got to the bottom. We got to the bottom. Yay. Okay. So, let's see. So I've been really excited about this live stream, Jeremy. This is a part of history that I love, and someday I want to go to where all this happened.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Audra just popped in. Hey, Audra.
Hi, Audra. Welcome back. So you ask, what is an ironclad? Okay. The definition is a steam-powered warship built of iron and steel armor plates. These ships were built between 1859 to the beginning of the 1890s. Oh my goodness. Who did that? Banshee Mining. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Banshee Mining. Thank you for the super chat. I wonder how I put that up there. I don't see it. Okay. I'm trying to find it so I can put it up there like I did with the other ones. Thank you very much, Banshee Mining. I appreciate that. Okay, the purpose of creating these ships was because the tall ships of the 1800s were made of wood and were vulnerable to the attacks of cannons and explosive shells. And that the ironclad's first battle would render the wooden tall ships of the era obsolete. So the Battle of Hampton Roads happened because President Abraham Lincoln employed a blockade off the southern coast of the United States to prevent the Confederate trade. The South was known for its cotton exports across the world. Hi, Farmer Eugene, if you're watching. Being financial asset to the Confederacy. Warships were required to try to pierce the blockade. But the Confederates had limited resources to build these ships. The Confederate Secretary of the Navy, Stephen Mallory, was tasked to discover a solution. Mallory was to challenge the Yanks with armor-plated ships. Because of the limited resources due to the federal blockade, they decided to raise the USS Merrimack that the Union had set afire and scuttled to avoid being commandeered by the Confederacy. I believe they found the Merrimack at the bottom of Elizabeth River. Don't quote me on that. I think it was Elizabeth River. So they somehow got it out of the muck of the bottom of the river and had it towed. Let's see. So they raised the empty hull and lower shell of the USS Merrimack, from the Elizabeth River mud, putting her into dry dock. After many days, they transformed the burned out shell of the USS Merrimack into an armed, armor-plated vessel and renamed her the CSS Virginia. Now, for those of you that are not aware what USS means and CSS means, the Navy calls their ships, like now with us being the United States, the Confederacy is CSS. That's the Confederate States ship. The USS originally meant the Union States ship. That's what those abbreviations mean. So news of the new ironclad spread quickly through the country, causing the Union to commission their own ironclad, to be built on February 25th, 1862. They chose a Swedish inventor and engineer to design and oversee the building of the ironclad. His name was John Erickson, and the ironclad was built in New York City, New York. She featured a 20-foot round turret. It was the ingenious invention of John Erickson that produced cannon fire at almost 360 degrees as it revolved. It was the first one of its kind. It rotated by steam power and had twin 11-inch Dahlgren smoothbore shell guns on it. It was christened the USS Monitor, and Lieutenant John L. Worden commanded this mighty ironclad. The ironclad was ready to protect the Federal fleet from the Confederacy's challenge posed by the huge CSS Virginia. Now, the USS Merrimack, in its day, was the largest ship in the fleet. The Confederacy brought it up from the depths of the river. All that was left was the hull, an empty shell. and that. I think they were able to rebuild the engine in it. I think it was just the hull of it and the engine that were salvaged. Because so after all, the USS Merrimack was the largest ship in the Union fleet before it was scuttled. The Merrimack was restored by ironcladding her superstructure hull and building a 10-gun citadel. Okay. So when you hear that, you're thinking there's only 2 guns on the Monitor. That doesn't seem like a fair fight, but because it revolves.
You don't have to maneuver the ship. You can maneuver the turret on top of the ship.
Exactly.
Which was much faster than repositioning a large warship.
Hi, Sassy Explorers. Welcome. If that wasn't enough, they mounted a 1,500-pound ram underwater on her bow. This is the Virginia's bow. Okay. To ram the wooden tall ships with. Okay. And send them to the depths of the Hampton Roads waters. Her mission was to fire on and ram Union blockading sea vessels in Hampton Roads Harbor, which I believe is also called Chesapeake Bay. She set out early March 8, 1862, out of Portsmouth, Virginia, to encounter the Union ships that were all moored together, forming the blockade. Under the command of Flag Officer Franklin Buchanan, the CSS Virginia headed towards the sloop of war, the USS Cumberland, which was a tall ship, a wooden tall ship. She was near Newport News Point at approximately 2 p.m. The Virginia rams the Cumberland, bashing a massive gash in the Cumberland's wooden hull. When disengaging itself from the Cumberland to try to hit her again, the Virginia snapped off their ram that they had attached to the bow of the ship. So they're firing on the Cumberland with 10 guns, plus they're ramming her and putting holes in her, and she sunk. The USS Cumberland sank with 121 Union souls going down with the ship. All the while her colors were flying. The Virginia, not satisfied with her conquest, decides she's got her eye on the USS Congress, which is another tall ship, and starts for the Union ship to secure its demise. Trying to avoid being a second victim of the Confederacy, the USS Congress runs aground. And they did this for a reason, because the Virginia can't go in shallow water. So they purposely ran their ship aground to get away from them. The Virginia runs into the side of the Congress and commences fire with its 10 guns at point blank range. And the USS Congress catches fire. Buchanan comes on deck to accept surrender from the Congress, only to be wounded by a Union musket ball. At dusk, the CSS Virginia ends its attack, and it returns to the Elizabeth River for the night. Now, at this point, they don't realize that there's another ironclad going to be there to meet them the next day, okay? So the Monitor, the Union ship, the Monitor, with its ingenious revolving turret, is ready for battle and is nicknamed the cheese box on a raft. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. So she is towed from New York to Hampton Roads, Virginia in January, I think, January or February, arriving late March 8th. Okay. March 9th, 1862. With Flag Officer Buchanan wounded, he turned over the commander position of the CSS Virginia to Lieutenant Catesby Jones, and he assumed the command of the Virginia. He steams towards the USS Minnesota, which was a steam-powered frigate, and begins firing on them with 10 guns. Much to Lieutenant Jones' surprise, he sees a strange raft-type ship abreast of the USS Minnesota. The USS Monitor speeds towards the Virginia to engage in battle, and these two ironclad beasts start slugging it out. If you noticed in the intro, the pictures of the Monitor, you could see where the cannonballs had hit the turret and punched in, made indentations. Let's see. So these two ironclad beasts slug it out at close range, firing upon each other, with each of their shots bouncing off the other. The other's armor plating. The Virginia tried to ram the Monitor, but the smaller, swifter ship, the Monitor was smaller than the Virginia. Because it was smaller, it could get away from him. And they evaded the ram attempt. After several hours of combat, I think they fought for between 4 and 6 hours of combat. Lieutenant John Warden, while in the pilot house, was temporarily blinded by a shell exploding just outside the pilot house from the Virginia. The Monitor retreated to shallow water where the Virginia cannot go. Whenever I talk about the size of these ships later on, you'll understand what I mean. The Virginia was a deep-hulled ship, whereas the Monitor was not. So that the Monitor goes into shallow water because they know the Virginia can't follow, because the Virginia is in essence the Merrimack, which was their ship, and they know everything about her. But at this point, the Virginia is low on ammo and must retreat before low tide arrives. So they head back to Portsmouth, Virginia. So March 9th was the first battle between, March 9th, 1862 was the first battle between ironclads in the world. The battle ended in a draw, okay? Neither one won, neither one lost, okay? But changed the face of naval ship warfare forever. After the battle, the Monitor continued to protect the Federal fleet in blockade. The Virginia is seen from time to time, but it never engages with the Monitor again. With the blockade steadfast, Major General George B. McClellan, famous general, you've all heard that name before, advances his Army of the Potomac to the Virginia Peninsula. During the Battle of Hampton Roads, the Federal Navy had 261 killed and 108 wounded on March 8th, and it was the bloodiest battle in U.S. naval history until the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941. The USS Monitor also patrolled the James River and was ordered south, where she floundered in a storm and sank, taking 16 sailors of the crew of 62 men to the depths with her. The USS Monitor was discovered again in 1973, and the Mariners Museum raised and recovered the steam engine and other assorted parts. In 2002, the famous rotating gun turret was recovered and restored. All the parts now reside at the Mariners Museum in Newport News, Virginia. The CSS Virginia was destroyed by Confederate soldiers when the Union forces took control of the port at Norfolk, Virginia in 1862. The Union Navy had 84 ironclads, with 64 being equipped with the famous revolving turrets. There are only 4 Civil War ironclads still in existence. Okay. The USS Monitor, the CSS Noose, the USS Cairo, and the CSS Muskogee. Those are the only 4 that are left.
Wow.
So let's see. Hi, Can Do Veteran. Welcome. Let's see if I've missed anybody I'm seeing. If I've missed you, don't be offended, please. It's not intentional. So how did you guys like the intro?
I liked it.
That was the 3rd biggest description I ever had to do in my life. You're only allowed 5,000 characters. And I had to, I saw somebody else. Oh, maybe I didn't. I had to do credits for all the pictures from the Library of Congress and their contributors. Whoever gave them the photographs, donated them, I had to put their names in too. So it was quite the feat. And then I was having trouble. I had too many characters. So is anybody in the house from Virginia?
I don't see anybody.
I think Mike. No, he's North Carolina. That's right. I think Susie Q96 is West Virginia, I think. Oh, that sounds good, JP Lonzimore. We're having Italian sausage, peppers, and onions on the Blackstone. Looks like tacos. Thank you, Dan Smoking Treasures. So to give you an idea of how big these ships are, here's some little-known facts about them. Okay. The USS Monitor was ordered October 4th, 1861. The builder was Continental Iron Works, 3 companies. Continental Iron Works in Greenport, or 2, in Greenport and Brooklyn. The cost, so I can't imagine what it would cost nowadays. Millions. The cost to build the USS Monitor was $275,000. $275,000. That's insane.
Yeah, in the 1800s.
Okay, it was laid down October 25th, 1861. It was launched the 30th of January, 1862. So it took from October 25th to January 30th to build it. It was commissioned the 25th of February, 1862. Its fate was that it was lost at sea during a storm December 31st, 1862, off Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. Status: the wreck was located August 27th, 1973. The type of warship: it's a small warship, wasn't fast nor strongly armored, but carried huge guns normally found in larger ships. And it had the rotating turret, which nobody else had.
Right.
It had a displacement. Now, when I say it had a displacement, when the ship was launched into the water, it displaced 987 long tons. Okay. The length was 179 feet. The beam, which I believe, if I remember right, I used to know all this, the beam is the width of the ship, is 41.5 feet. the draft is, the height was 10.5 feet. The installed power was a 320 IHP, indicated horsepower, with 2 horizontal fire tube boilers. The propulsion was 1 propeller and 1 vibrating lever steam engine. Its speed was 6 knots or 6.9 miles per hour or 11 kilometers per hour.
So it was slow.
Yeah, slow. The complement, it would carry 49 officers and enlisted men. Okay, now just remember that for when I go to describe the Virginia. The armament, it had 2 11-inch smoothbore Dahlgren guns. The armor was a gun turret, a revolving gun turret, was 8 inches thick. The steel was 8 inches thick. Hi, Moto Mining. The waterline belt, that would be the little bit of the ship that was above the waterline. Okay. The waterline belt was 3 to 5 inches thick. The deck was 1 inch thick, and the pilot house was 9 inches thick. Let's see. The remainder of the ship was designed by John Erickson and built in only 101 days, it says. And it was built in Brooklyn, New York, on the East River. So the Navy was testing a new underwater locating system in August of 1949. And to do this test, they decided they were going to search for the Monitor, okay? They found what they thought was the Monitor just off the South Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. They found an object 140 feet long, thought to be the Monitor 310 feet deep, but the currents were too strong for divers. Then retired Admiral Edward Ellsbury wanted to use external pontoons to salvage the wreck in 1951, but he wanted to do it for $250,000. So in 1955, a man by the name of Robert F. Marks claimed to have found the wreck in shallow water north of the lighthouse. He claimed to have dove on the wreck and placed a Coke bottle with his name on it in one of the gun barrels, but he could show no proof that he had done this. So I think it was just blown off. The Monitor was found 111 years after she was lost, and it was by a collaborative effort between Duke University, the National Geographic Society, and the National Science Foundation. They jointly did an expedition. And that was in August of 1973. The group was led by John G. Newton, who is no relation to Isaac Newton. Discovery was announced March 8th, 1974. The location in the sea is designated now as a National Historic Landmark, and it's also called the Monitor National Marine Sanctuary.
Very cool.
So that's about the Monitor. So let me see what's going on in the chat, because I've been talking a while.
B3 just come in, relic recovery.
Oh, hi, B3, Chris. Hi, Whispers from the Dirt. Bonnie, welcome back, both of yous. Moto Mining said it freaking snowed today. Oh, my. I know. I hate it when it does that, when it's supposed to be spring. So
I think it was about 81 here today.
It got up to 64 here. Let's see. I think so. 64 is good for Michigan right now.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So the size of the Monitor, let's see, what was the length? Was 179 feet. Okay. the CSS Virginia was ordered July 11th, 1861. So it was ordered before the Monitor, because they didn't even know they were going to be building the Monitor until they heard rumors of a new ironclad being built.
Right.
Okay. It was ordered July 11th, 1861. It was completed March 7th, 1862. Hi, Dave Collier Camping. He lives in Newport News, Virginia. Yay! I want to go there someday. Where the turret in full-size mock-up of the Monitor is held at the Mariner Museum.
Oh, very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Hi, Robert Hunter Collison. Welcome back. Thanks, guys. 29 in the house still. Thank you very much.
That's not bad, Flash. 39 to 69. That's not bad. That sounds like some good weather, man.
So it was commissioned on February 17th, 1862. The fate of the Virginia, it was scuttled May 11th, 1862. The type of ship is a casemate ironclad. Okay, now the displacement of, the displacement of the Monitor was 987 tons. Okay. The displacement of the Virginia was 4,000 tons. The length was 275 feet long, almost just short of I think it was a 96 feet longer than the Monitor was.
Right.
Eye plugs for days. Let's see. The beam was 51.2 inches. 51 foot 2 inches. So it was even, wider.
Right.
And then the draft above water, okay? The draft of the ship was 21 feet. So a lot of it was showing above the water, whereas the Monitor,
less of it.
It was less. The installed power was 1,200 IHP, horsepower. Propulsion was one shaft, 2 horizontal back-acting steam engines, and 4 boilers. The speed was 5 to 6 knots, or 5.8 to 6.9 miles per hour, or 9.3 to 11.1 kilometers per hour. Okay. The complement. Okay. The complement on the Monitor was, where is it? 49 officers and enlisted men. The complement on the Virginia, this is crazy, about 320 officers and men.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A lot more ship, though.
A lot bigger ship, for sure. Yeah. FK Burnham says, if I remember correctly, they armored the Merrimack with railroad rails interlocked together. Yes, it was railroad rails, railroad iron, and oak. Okay, so let's see. Propulsion, one shaft. Oh, I said that already. Did I?
American detection in your house, Deej.
Hi, Russ. Ooh, American detection in the house. Thank you, Russ. Okay, the armament. 7 inches thick, 7 inch, which is 178 millimeter Brook rifles. Then they had 2 of those. They had 2 6.4 inch Brook rifles, 6 9-inch Dahlgren smoothbore guns, and 2 12-pounder howitzers. So they had a lot of firepower. Their armor on the ship, the belt was 1.1 to 3 inches thick. The deck was 1 inch thick. The casemate was 4 inches thick, backed by 24 inches of oak.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Plenty of protection on my bad boys.
Now, I couldn't find pictures of the designers of the Virginia. Designers were Lieutenant John Mercer Brooke and John L. Porter. It was built in Gosport Navy Yard. It took from May 18th to May 30th to pull the Merrimack hull from the muck below and tow it to the shipyard.
Mm.
The location is now called Dry Dock Number 1 and is where the burned structures were removed.
Wow.
So that's all the logistics that I can find on the Virginia.
Very cool, though. Very cool. Very large. For a first, it was very large, was it not?
Yes, it was huge. Because before the Confederacy had the Merrimack and transformed it into the Virginia, it was the biggest ship of the fleet, of the Union fleet.
Right.
In that. So bigger is not always better.
True. Especially in shallow water, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And then, had they battled longer, the Virginia would have bottomed out because the tide was going out.
Oh yeah. That's probably why they disengaged that whole right there at dark, maybe to get to some cover with that tide going out like that.
Yep. Hi, Fun with Dirt. Oh, 33 in my house. Thank you. Hi, Fun with Dirt. Welcome. So, anybody been out digging? Have you been out digging recently?
I have. I got a few little things. I got the strangest mercury dime I've ever dug. It was almost like something chemically happened to it.
Oh,
it was thin and brittle. Not as thin as a potato chip, but half as thin as a regular dime on one side, and it almost looked calcified. And it broke just cleaning it up. It was some chemical had gotten to it.
Wow.
Maybe fertilizer or. But I never dug one like that, and the silver was like leached out, and like a calcified something had leached in.
Right.
It was bizarre, to say the least.
Huh. Well, I did some metal detecting in the last 2 days in my yard.
How'd you do?
And I think my contractor thought I was weird. Well, they were digging the holes for the beams, the what do you call it? The strong part of the fence, the posts.
Yeah, the posts.
And they had to do like, let me think, 13. I think there's over 30. So everywhere they dug a post hole, because they had to put they got 8-foot 4x4s and put them 2 foot deep into the ground. Okay.
Right.
So they have all this dirt they pulled out.
You was going to listen to it.
I get my trusty T2 out, and I get my, Technetics pinpointer, and I'm going around. I'm checking, and if the T2 goes off, then I know I got to get on my hands and eat. And I'm going through these piles of dirt. I found some very old shotgun head stamps. I found a button. I found a snap. Tons of square nails. And interestingly enough, I actually found some beautiful chert that possibly was worked on one side, but it's not an arrow. It's not in the shape of anything. It looks broken.
Right.
But it's beautiful. And that,
when you were reading the specs on those ironclads and talking about the turrets and the size of the cannons earlier, I wonder, did you ever think about what it must have been like inside that metal
inside of that? Yes.
Popping off those extremely large cannons.
Well,
can you imagine just the concussion off of each fire, and every round you fired, you could feel, and it resonate head to.
Oh, I bet. I do know that on the Monitor and the Virginia, that's probably the reason why they put wood in up against the metal, was maybe to try to curb the echo or whatever.
But still, can you imagine a 12-pound cannon going off in your living room wrapped in metal?
I know. Isn't that nuts? I mean,
those guys were so tough. It's the little things we never think about, to me, in the times we live in, that those guys live through.
Right.
during those war times. And one of those things has to be, how in the world that had to have been a madhouse inside those cannon turrets as far
Oh, it
as
had to been. It had
the
to been.
sound and the concussion.
Thank you, Jason, for coming. I appreciate that. Yep. I'll be in touch with you. Jason, the Dark Knight Detectorist from across the pond. I am a guest on his show with him and
I'll be
Roseanne.
watching. I'll be watching that, and I'm
think
subscribed to him.
I think it's the 23rd of this month. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but
You'll have to let
I've
us
got it
know
written
again
on my calendar
for sure.
in that. So, and then yeah, because I really want Michigan Gems did a collaboration with a bunch of YouTubers, magnet fishing, and some did metal detecting over, I think it was in Lansing, wasn't it, Joe? On Saturday. They about froze their butts off. It was cold. Saturday or Sunday. I forget which. And yeah, okay, Heavy Meadow said yes, the 23rd. Okay, I remembered right. I will be on the Dark Knight Detectorist show on the 23rd.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
They wanted me to go, and I had the contractor here, and I couldn't go. I wanted to go so bad. But, my back's doing a lot better, and I am going to be out detecting. I just got to get this dealt with.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Moto mining. Even my grandpa would stuff cotton into his ears during World War II to protect from the Navy guns. Earplugs are a late innovation. Yeah, I bet.
Right.
I bet. Well, they had corks for cork top bottles. Maybe that's what they stuck in their ears to try to help.
And that's just to deal with the sound. I've stood several feet away from cannon fire.
Oh yeah, from a blast, and you can feel
the concussion. So I can't imagine a 12-pounder inside a cast iron pot, basically, with a wood bottom. I just can't imagine that. That had to have been something else,
Right. It it had to have been something to live in that day and age. It really did.
Right.
And can you imagine having to jump off a tall ship? Getting fired on by 10 guns.
No. I
massive
can't.
guns, and having to jump into the harbor.
I dare say the people that lived back then are much tougher than folks now. I'm just saying the whole way of life at that time was tough. You had to work for everything you had.
Right. So are you all recovered from all your trips you've been going on, dude?
Yes, I am finally. I took this week off, so to speak. I hadn't posted anything on YouTube in 2 weeks, but I'm gonna.
Your son got married too one weekend, so
right, and then we took off to North Carolina and whirlwind there, and it was great.
So how was North Carolina? Tell us about it.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you what. If you guys ever get the opportunity to do any dig stock event, fabulous. It's well put together. These guys were on top of everything, minute by minute. There were no bumps in the road, no surprises. We were on colonial land and found some amazing stuff. I got a few cool finds. I got, a dandy button and, oh gosh, several other things. One of the really cool finds I was digging a junk target and popped up a hand-blown opium bottle.
Oh, wow.
Let me grab. Let me see. I got my little... I might can do this without sliding everything out.
Oh, wow. Look at all those relics. Holy smokes.
That was my dig stock.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got some game pieces and some Indian heads and some cool stuff. We had a really good time, but those events, I have not been to a whole lot of events, but out of the ones I've been to, those dig stock events are just fantastic.
Yeah.
They really are. They really are well run, well put together events.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you get a chance and you're wanting to do a really cool, you've been saving up and wanting to do an event, I can highly recommend the Dig Stock event. It was great. Russ was there, American Detection, and we had a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, and I think he can vouch for this. We probably walked 20 miles over the 5 days. If that's on the low end, if we were lucky.
I bet. I'd just be cool metal detecting.
But it was great. A lot of cool detectors there, a lot of cool YouTubers. Got to meet, a lot of people that you see at the events. And, that's always like an extra treasure right there. Even if you didn't find anything, just getting together with all those folks and talking shop and talking metal detecting.
Russ says at least 20 miles.
Yeah, at least. That's, and I'll tell you what one day I swung the ground.
What was the ground like there? Did you have to use the T2 or what did you do?
I used a little bit of everything. I started out with my Patriot and swung my F-75 by Fisher a little bit. And then I went to my T2 for a while. So the ground was great. I mean,
because some of the ground farther south is more mineralized than it is up here in Michigan.
No, this was super mild. Hitting deep targets was not an issue whatsoever. I mean, it was great, really. The ground was great. You were in between cotton rows, and that gave you a really short swing, and of course that put a little work on your arm by the end of the day. And after 5 days of that arm is for sure wore out. But we did peanut field. And Russ and Carrie found some really cool stuff, and the other guys that were with us in our group, we were all swinging First Texas products, and we were killing the game. We had a great time, and I will definitely go back to any other Dig Stock event I'm invited to. I promise you.
Right. Well, hopefully next year I can go to that one. I really wanted to go to that one.
It was great. It was great. I believe if they could have that same hunt next week, and people would still find a ton of different stuff because there's just so much land and so many old home sites that you didn't come close to finding it all.
Right.
Well, and every time they turn those fields with plows, new stuff pops right back up. New stuff
comes up. Yep. Yeah. Once they turn the fields. My dream find, it's another tough one, but I can only find it down south, is a slave tag.
Right. Yeah, and they're few and far between. I would love
to find one.
They're few and far between too.
Yep.
Practical Ken, it was great meeting you, brother. I had a good talk with that guy.
Yep. So Jeff Obsessions and Practical Ken I think they drove down together.
They did, and they were great. A lot of just really cool people, and they all got some really cool stuff they found too. And some of the finds were just, man, they were so amazing. There were half dimes and trimes and
wow.
I mean, just reals.
I haven't dug a trime yet.
There were reals found. There were every kind of button you can imagine. It just tons of great finds.
Hi, the Fox and Ground Detecting. Welcome. Yeah, I bet. That had to have been something. So what was the weather like while you were there?
Most of the time we were there, the weather was actually perfect. I spent one day metal detecting in the rain, and I threw caution to the wind and put my rain suit on, jumped out there with the old trusty T2, and she never missed a leg.
You said it didn't hurt it, so
never missed a leg. It pouring down rain. I dump the water out of the screen once in a while and just keep hammering.
My gosh. So
she never skipped a beat, and I used it this morning for a little while. It's still going. So
wow. Well, hopefully I can get down to see you. I don't know if it'll be this year or next year, but
we're definitely going to make it happen, though, for sure. We're going to get together,
right?
Hopefully this year.
We're going to wait till after the stormy season.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You're having too many tornadoes coming too close to where you live.
Man, we just grow up with that here. It's just like Tornado Alley, the one.
But you don't. I mean, do you not have very much dirt? Maybe you're on rock or something. How come you don't have a basement?
No, I don't. Well, you grow up with it, and you learn to just keep an eye on the radar. And if it looks like it's going to be bad, either go somewhere or get in the hallway bathroom, and
Mm-hmm.
you get used to it. You really do when you grow up down here, because I know they get a lot of tornadoes everywhere, but in out
Right.
west, they can see them coming out west. Here,
Well, they're saying this year is going to be worse
hills
because
and
it's a
woods here,
La
you never see
Nina
it.
year, I think. They think it's going to be worse. We're going to have more.
Oh wow.
I
Well,
mean, the United States on average has 1,200 tornadoes a year.
oh
Okay.
wow.
I
That's a lot.
forget how many hundred we're already up to. So, and I mean, I think the month of April, part of April is tornado awareness week or month or something for us here in Michigan. And that, because we get them too, but not as frequently as like Illinois and Iowa and
Oh yeah.
Missouri, all that. I mean,
Right.
neighbor Jason, I have family in Paragould in Jonesboro, Arkansas, on my dad's side, and they had tornadoes touch down in Arkansas last night.
Yeah. They get them a lot
So,
out
I
that
mean,
way
I was
too.
watching Vince Storm Chase last night after dinner, and we're talking massive wall clouds, nothing like I've never seen anything quite that big here. But that's big air country.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they have less trees than we do. It would be really hard to chase tornadoes in Michigan. We have so many trees.
Oh yeah. It'd be super hard here. We got
Yeah.
hills and trees everywhere.
Well, Paul of American Woodland Relics, his son
And
is a storm chaser.
Paul said, he says, I want to chase a tornado.
Yep.
I'm usually going the other way,
Paul,
Paul.
you got to be really careful because I'm telling you, I've seen so many of them in my lifetime. I used to spend summers with my great aunt Mabel and Uncle Harold down in Illinois in Ridge Farm.
Cynthia said, don't chase it towards me, Paul.
Yeah, don't chase it towards me. And they
That's
are
good.
mesmerizing. I mean, they just look like they can't possibly be real, but you can hear them. My great aunt Mabel and Uncle Harold had a farm in Ridge Farm, Illinois. And a couple summers I went and spent with my dad's family in that part of the summer. And my uncle would come running in the house and say, "We got to get in the storm cellar." And they had a storm cellar underground, and they had bulletproof glass windows about yay big. And I would stand on a bench and watch this thing, and it would come down, touch that black Vermilion River soil, and turn jet black. Go
Hmm.
from white gray to jet black. I
Right.
mean, it
Right.
was wild. And you'd see it hit a barn and then smash to smithereens flying everywhere. It was nuts.
Right. Right.
It was nuts. So I used to be a tornado spotter for Genesee County, Michigan, years ago when I was much younger. And I watched the tornado that came down in the 80s and hit the uh we used to call them back then subdivisions, a huge subdivision that was just past I-75 and AC spark plug plant, was just on the other side, and it destroyed that whole subdivision. Watched it come down above Bishop Airport out of the clouds. I was on top of the Genesee Valley Mall spotting. Watched it come down out of the clouds over the airport, International Airport, came across Miller Road, came down right next to the movie theater and scattered the cars like they were Tinker Toys. Went back up, not totally up in the clouds, and then went southeast across I-75 and then hit that community. It was nuts.
Mercy. Hmm.
So they are wicked devils, let me tell you. And Brenda, Mama's gone detecting. I heard there was one. I know where she's located in Iowa because I used to have family in Iowa. And I told her, I said, "Are you in your safe spot?" I private message her. So
Both of my parents were afraid of weather pretty much, and it didn't rub
yeah.
off on me. I probably should have a lot healthier fear than I do, but sometimes I just go to bed and they're like, "How do you do?" It's gonna blow you away one night, and I'm like, "Well, it's gonna blow me away whether I'm in the bed or in the bathroom."
Mm-hmm.
There's really nowhere to go. So, and we're in
Right.
a house, so
Right.
but I don't fear it as bad as they. I respect it for sure, but
Right.
I don't. I probably don't fear it as much as I should.
Whispers from the Dirt said, "We got hit by the remnants of the Enterprise tornado in Alabama." Wow.
Wow.
I think I watched Vince chasing those storms too,
Wow.
because Vince is all over the place. He's all over the United States chasing. So, well, it is 6:38. We're running out of time. So, here is our treasure hunters prayer list. The newest one on the list is Kay's Diggin It. She had a little scare and went to emergency, but she's home now and is starting to feel better. Luke of AAPS Variety Channel. He's had one procedure and is looking at I think he's supposed to have another back surgery. Pammy Jones from the coin community needs our prayers. Paul, how is your foot, Paul? Paul of American Woodland Relics. His boss ran over his foot with a tractor or something. He said it would still look pretty bad, but it was starting to get better.
Mm.
The last time I talked to him, J-Man Metal Sharks. I think his mother's home, but they still need our prayers. APPS, Adirondack Park Paranormal Society, their health and safety manager needs our prayers. PD Sanddigger's mother-in-law needs our prayers. Dennis's wife, SWFL Treasure Detecting. Rocky Mountain Life Prospecting, Rob has been sick. Mark of Ram Detecting. Have you talked to Mark lately?
I haven't.
He messed up his foot and part of his leg.
Paul at American Woodland Relics says he's doing good now, so that's good to hear.
Good.
Good to hear,
That's
man.
good. Hi, Jet Ski John, 2006. Welcome back. Stephen Vittis, mother-in-law or mother, needs our prayers. Metal Detecting with Randy, who I've done a collaboration hunt with, has a subscriber who asked to be put on the list. He asked to have his mother put on the list.
Right.
Pull tab Pam. Please keep her in your prayers, folks. Uncle Al, oldies and goodies. Matt Tomani just had testing done. I just noticed on Facebook that the new chemo that they tried did not work.
I saw that.
The cancer grew 15%. So they've got one more type of chemo they can try. So keep him in your prayers.
For sure.
Susie Q96. She's hanging in there. She's supposed to have kind of a scary surgery. They think they found something behind her eyeball and they're going to have to go in and figure out what is going on. SJ's Mixed Adventures. I think she had a shoulder replacement or something. Pam's Opinion, another channel I follow, just had surgery. Kay's Digging It. Herself and her mother need our prayers. And if you can think of anybody else after the live stream, please go put it in the comments so I know. Anybody else that you may want to add. Okay, next in line is Jersey History Hunters, Audra and Bobby. And their special guests are Scuba Sonia and Michigan Magnet Man, Tanner. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. Next after them is Flash in Your Pan. That's Ed, Jesse, Dano, Rose, and their special guest is our own one of my mods, Nancy, Ambient Girl Diggs, and Hollywood Joe.
Awesome.
That's at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Then Bill, who's in the chat, Bill, Papa Rouse, what's in the dirt? Weather permitting, because he's got storms going through. He will have his live stream. It'll be 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. I apologize to the gang that post their videos Monday night. I think it's hashtag Monday Digs. With everything that's been going on, I wasn't able to watch you guys. I'll try to catch up. I've been trying to follow the Mondays and Tuesdays and that. So there's so much going on with this fence situation. Let's see what else is going on. I have no idea what my live stream is going to be about next week. And that. But I do know part of it's going to be a mail call because I've got 2 weeks worth of mail. For those of you that won the Dragon Slayers and stuff a week, 2 weeks ago, I'm mailing them out. I'm waiting for these cardboard envelopes. I don't want anybody to steal them. So I ordered some heavy duty cardboard type envelopes to ship the prizes in. So I'm just waiting for that to get here because I can't replace these once they're gone.
Night, Paul.
Night, Paul. Let's see. Am I missing anybody? And Friday's video will either be another waterfall video that Pam and I went to visit or something rock hunting and that. Hi, Preserving the Past. Hi, Chris. How are you? You need to come back up to Michigan, Chris, and dig with me. So I appreciate everybody that came for the live stream. I hope you enjoyed the topic, of history.
It's good to see everybody tonight.
You mark my words. If I get down there, I will do a video and visit all these places because it's just, I've always been intrigued with the Ironclads part of the history. My uncle was in the Navy. My boy's grandfather was a Navy pilot and had to destroy his plane when it got shot down. They had to destroy it. In that, I think it was Korean War. So yeah, we have a lot of military.
Hello, Paul. Paul's Metal Detecting Finds.
Hi, Paul's Metal Detecting Finds. How are you?
I saw him at Dig Stock too. He's a great guy and so tall. Yeah. He's really tall. Oh my God, he's really tall. He's a really great guy. Really great guy.
And that also, let's see. So I watched Nancy. I watched Nancy and Joe last night because Nancy, Ambient Girl Diggs, had her live stream. That was a fun live stream. And then after Nancy and Joe's live stream, I went to Treasure Vortex. And last night it was Amanda Digger Degas. And she just had a live stream. Gypsy has been so busy in that. So it was just Amanda last night, but it was an interesting live stream. So let's go over to Jersey History Hunter and do a Deej raid. Okay. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for being here. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. I appreciate that so much. Mark DeBerg Hunter, Cynthia Swearingen, and Banshee Mining. Thank you so much for the super chats.
Awesome, guys.
They are coming in handy here. And hopefully we don't get the bad storms they're calling for tomorrow. But it sounds like these storms, the storm line, is going to hit a lot of this side of the country.
Oh, yeah. Sure does.
So everybody be safe. Make sure you have a plan so that when you do get the storm alert, You already have a plan.
Have
You
a
go to
better
your
plan
safe-
than me for sure.
Yeah. Well, I told you what I did. My safe place is this cubby hole underneath my stairs, and then it's been reinforced with I don't know how many inches of oak
Yeah.
because
That'll help for sure.
we get tornadoes here. So
Yeah.
and that. So we'll see you over at Jersey History Hunters. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to all my moderators. Thank you to everybody. You made my
Good
day.
night, guys.
It's been a rough couple of days, and I was really excited about this. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll see you Friday for my 6 o'clock premiere. Thank you for watching.
Catch y'all on the flip side.
Bye.